Hello there everybody, Sam'sTrains here. Welcome back to the railway and welcome back to a little something new that I'm going to call Airbrush Live. So yeah, this is probably going to go really badly. I'll be honest with you, I really don't know how this is going to go, but as you can see, I have 4 models here. I guess I will introduce them to you in just a second. But yeah, I'm going to be painting one, maybe all of them tonight. We're going to have some fun. I'm going to let you guys suggest how I should paint them because I don't have a plan at all. So in a second I will show you all of the different paints that I've got and you can decide what colour I paint them. If you want me to try some lining or something crazy like that, I might be able to try. I'm not doing any sort of patterns or anything. It really will just be basic painting, but yep. You have your say. So let me show you some of the stuff that I'm going to be painting today then, or rather attempting to paint, should say. I ain't no professional at this, I'm very much a beginner, so yeah, copy what you see here at your own risk. So let's see if we've got this thing in focus. So this wagon, I've not showed you yet, this is a wagon body. I went to the Battlefield Line Railway and this thing was lying as a wreck in one of the sidings. I took some pictures of it and made a model of it. It might not be 100% accurate or anything, but yeah, maybe you'll recognise it if you've been to the Battlefield Line. The next one is this. This is the body of a prototype balancing coach that you might have seen in a few days ago. Yeah, this was one of the ones that I did for testing purposes, so I thought, you know what, we'll paint this thing up tonight, see how that looks. The next one, again, you probably will recognise, this was the wagon that I designed live on camera that time. Yeah, when I did my sort of SketchUp tutorial. And look at that thing, man. Ooh, came out pretty good. Yeah, really did come out nicely there. I don't know if because it's small and basic, but yeah, very few imperfections on that, which is great. And then this one, this was the SECR, I forget now, was it a 5 or a 7 planker? Something like that. Again, I mean, the details on that are really nice. Look at there. Yeah, that's not bad. So hopefully that has gotten your brains whirring as to what I can do with some of these stuff. Just in case you need some more ideas, and I will be looking at the chat in just a second, I will show you the paints that I have. So, I mean, you can choose whatever you want, but if it ain't in this sort of box or whatever, it's not going to happen. So I've got black, all right? I've got fire red. I have Ferrari red, I have gunship green, I have mud brown, I have grun, whatever that's supposed to be. Oh no, dark green, okay. That must have been the German or something. Sand yellow, hull red, I've not tried a lot of these. Sea grey, I've tried that one. I've got gold, I have white, satin varnish, probably won't be doing that. Aluminium, rust, skin tone, yellow, rust again, and deep sky. So there you go. You come up with some ideas and pop them in the chat and we'll see about getting started. While I wait, I probably don't have to wait, but I've got some other stuff to show you, so I will show it. I'll show you some of the other stuff that I've been sort of thinking about, some of the other stuff that I've been working on. First thing, by popular suggestion, I got myself some of this. This is Tamiya, I think, masking tape. Now, people have been saying, you know, this masking tape that I've been using, compared to the Tamiya stuff, or however you say it, apparently this stuff is absolutely terrible. And sure, yeah, I've had some paint bleed when using this. Apparently this stuff is going to be 10 times better. Now, as you can see, this is pretty thin. This is only 6mm tape, so it's not going to be good for masking off large areas, but I can use this to mask off the edges themselves, and then I can just sort of fill in any of the gaps with this. So I'm really looking to try this today. What I'm thinking of doing, actually, is something to do with, you see these lines on the ends of this coach? I might try and sort of paint these lines black, maybe. I don't know, it'd be fun to try and mask them off and give it a try. So yeah, if you want to incorporate that into some of your ideas, then you absolutely can do. The next thing, a good friend of mine, called Peter, I'll say his name because I know he sometimes watches. He showed me how to do transfers and stuff. I haven't tried it myself yet, but he did this for me on my 440 tender, and it came out real nice. So if I can ever master this, then this could be a real help with some of my models. Now, as you can see, it's got like a gloss finish to it. Are we in focus there? Sort of. And so obviously the rest of the body needs to be glossified in order for it to look good. But yeah, that is definitely something feasible for the future, isn't it? Yeah, definitely. And then the other thing that I've been working on, people have been saying, you know, with a FDM 3D printer like the one that's produced these, it's impossible to get sort of high detail and good quality and stuff. And that is kind of true. Obviously, a resin printer, or much better than that, a professional manufacturer could definitely produce more detail. But don't think the stuff that I've been showing is the best a 3D printer like mine can do, because that's just me being a beginner. If I really, you know, went to town and created a crazy design, there is a lot more that those printers can do. So I'm going to show you a real sneaky, this is very, very sneaky preview of a future model that I've been working on. So see if anyone in the chat recognizes what this is. But everything you see here is 100% 3D printed. It's pretty heavy actually, because it's high density. But yeah, all of the separately fitted parts, all of it 3D printed, full cab detail. And this is just the very, very first test print. It's unpainted, doesn't have a working chassis or anything. This is literally done straight after I designed it, just to see whether all the parts fitted together. And as you can see, they did. So yeah, it ain't ever going to be the standard of a professional manufacturer, but to say this was done, all of it, on a cheap £200 3D printer, man, that isn't too bad, is it? It's not too bad. And I haven't finished with this yet. There's still a long way to go before that thing is ready. No, but yeah, you might see more of that in the future. Right, so let's take a look at the old chat then. How is everybody doing? Has anybody got some suggestions as to what I should do with these motley wagons? Right, Punch Me, it looks amazing, says Gleese1. Ah, thank you very much. Charlie, somebody says. Is there one of those logos called Charlie? I do not know. Hudswell Clark says Flying Scott. Sort of, yes, sort of that sort of thing. Right, we've got Azuma here saying, can you paint the balancing coach in something similar to Great Western Chocolate and Cream? You see, that might be a good idea, because then I could do the sort of... I could try and do the top half in the cream and the bottom half in the chocolate and do the black lines on the ends. Oh, shall we do that? Shall we literally give that a try? Ooh, I think we should. Okay, all right. I'll do some shout outs and then we'll give that a try. I think the first thing to do will be the interior, so I'll pick a fairly dull looking colour for that and we'll do that first. But yeah, that I like. Yeah, that is a cool idea. I'll just mask off literally the top half. It's going to be a bit bodgy, I suppose, isn't it? But this is not, you know, to create something wonderful. This is literally just to practice airbrushing. So, and also I want to test this, and dividing the coach in half to do half of it chocolate, half of it cream, seems like a pretty damn good test of this stuff, particularly as this is quite a complex surface. So I like that idea. I do like that idea. Right. Mr. BNSFS, whatever his name is, Train says, I bet Sam will be selling his own line of professional 3D printed model trains in about 10 years. Well, I tell you what, if I ever get a resin 3D printer, which I can't do in this room, by the way, because it's just too gassy and it would sort of poison me, I'm sure. But if I ever get a different place, then I would definitely love to try that. Chocolate and Cream, ProTune HD agrees, says can't go wrong with that. No, you should do DV Cargo Red and put a DV transfer on. You see, if I was a bit more skilled and if I'd practiced doing transfers, I'd be up for that. But I ain't doing that today, because it would definitely 100% go wrong. But yeah, good idea though, I like that. EWS colours, yeah, everybody's saying, look, once I've practiced, I will paint a balancing coach in EWS colours, all right? You have my permission never to let me forget it, all right? 5 years before he's doing it. Oh, that's good, Damien. Yeah, I was going to say 10 years, that's borderline insulting, isn't it, I would say. Anyway, you stick around in the chat, folks. My hands are probably going to be pretty messy before very long, so apologies if if I'm not looking at the chat as much as I should. But let's start with the interior. What colour do you think I should do for the interior of the coach then? That's the next question for the chat. Because I've done mud brown on every interior so far and I'm tired of it. So of the colours I've showed, you suggest something. Now this is not going to be fine masking work. I've really just got to cover up the windows and stuff. So I'm going to tease you. I'm going to tease myself with the Tamiya masking tape stuff, and we'll use that in a little while. So I'm going to use my regular masking tape and just cover up everything except the interior. And this won't take long. You know, this is just going to be a real quick go on the interior. And then we can get on and do the bodywork, which of course is the fun part. All right. So the top, of course, most of the top surface is all covered up by the roof anyway, so I don't really have to worry about that. Not that I'm worrying too much at all today, just because it's a practice project. But, you know, if it looks good at the end of it, that will be a bonus. So I don't want to just mess it up on purpose. All right. There we go. I think that'll do. And the big thick masking tape is perfect for that because it covers lots of the area. All right, so that's looking pretty good. I will just put a little bit extra on just so that I don't accidentally put paint on the body, because I've done that before. I've got paint on the body that I haven't yet painted, thinking it doesn't matter, I've still got to paint it. And then you've got to put loads and loads of paint on in order to cover it up. You get like a shadow. So yeah. Not doing that today. Let's try not to mess things up. And let's see if we've got any suggestions on the interior colour. Let's see if I can grip my iPad. Right, dark green. Oh, dark green or red. Ah, the dark green. Do you reckon? I'm seeing quite a few people saying dark blue. Okay. Well, there's no telling how it's going to look, but there was a darkish green in there, wasn't there? So I think we'll try that. Right. Confession time. Confession time. The airbrush that you can see here is a new airbrush. This is going to be the first time I've used it because I actually broke the old one. I wasn't changing the nozzle. Yeah, the nozzle sort of. I was taking it apart to clean it and I over tightened it. Let me show you. This bit, the bit that the needle goes through, I over tightened that thing and it broke the thread. So I could have tried to fix it, but these are not actually that expensive, so I just bought another one. But yeah, just as a little tip, don't over tighten the nozzles because it's a very small fragile thread and it didn't like it, let's put it that way. Right, so there was, is it this one? Yeah, there's a dark green. I don't know how that, I suppose that will kind of make sense because you've got chocolate and cream on the outside, so that's that colour scheme. And then dark green on the interior, that might match the Great Western Locos maybe. It doesn't look like it's going to be a Brunswick green, but yeah, a dark colour seems smart if you ask me. Ooh, that lid wasn't on very tightly. Oh dear. Right. Wish me luck. Now I'm going to have to put my mask on for the actual painting bits, so I'm going to try and put it on now, and I'm going to keep talking, and you guys will have to let me know how well you can still hear me. I expect not very well, but you know, I don't want to die, so I'm going to put the mask on. Let's do it. Shake the paint. This is the first time, I'll pull the mask off while I say this. This is the first time I've used this paint, so literally no idea what this is going to look like. No idea at all. And curses to everyone who suggested it if it looks horrendous. If it looks like I've been sick on my new coach, then curses. Right. Oh, I've had a super chat. Eric Celius 2B, thank you so much. The Black 5 number is 5025. He's very old right now. That he has survived. Really? That's pretty cool, Eric. Thank you for sharing. And thank you so much for the super chat there. I do appreciate it. I didn't hear any super chat noise. Oh, there we go. Talk of the devil. All right, let's do it. Not too much of this, just a few drops. Where is the paint? Do you know what? I think there may be a problem with this paint because the lid wasn't on very tightly and it seems to be all sort of solid in the top. That hasn't gone well, and I haven't used this paint yet, so it ain't me that's done it. I'm going to go and get some sort of tool and see if we can't what do I need here? Let's see. I think a needle might do it. See if we can just break through this solid layer. Ah, man, if there's any such thing as a bad start, then that is it. Oh, and we've got Co-Captain Blues Gaming. Thank you so much. Can anyone tell me what's happening, please? I came late. Well, I'm about to try and start painting some stuff, and that's basically it. Right, okay. I hope, oh yeah, well there's the colour for you, and I've just ruined my glue applying needle. Okay, so hopefully I've made a hole now, goodness sake, in the top of the paint. I might have to try and get that solidified paint out at some point, because it will block up the airbrush probably, but I'm not going to sit and faff around with that today, so we'll take a chance and see what happens. Mask back on. And hopefully now I'll be able to get some paint out. Let's try. Oh, blimey, that was annoying. Yep. It looks a very military shade of grey, if that makes sense. The sort of grey, the sort of green that you'd see a tank painted or something. Yeah, okay. Right, does the new airbrush work? Let's find out. Yeah, seems to. And that looks quite nice. Yeah, that's not a bad green. Okay, let's do it. Alright, I've gone round once. I'm going to do this a few times. People have told me to sort of back up a little bit and go a bit more slowly, add more layers and make them a bit thinner layers. So that's what I'm going to try and do. Let's do it again. A little more paint. This is a nice green. I don't think it's the sort of, it's not the sort of green that you want to put on a loco, I don't think, but if you like wartime rolling stock, or maybe interiors like this, it's going to be good. Yeah, it's quite nice that. Right, let's do it again. Okay, a little bit more. Yeah, alright. Alright, take my mask off. I know I should keep it on really, but never mind. Okay, let me try and show you what that looks like. I think if I was doing this not on a live stream, I would probably put a bit more time into getting better coverage. But just because I don't want to bore you all to death, I think we'll leave it at that. Mostly good coverage there, but you get the picture, you get the picture. It's quite wet looking, isn't it, which is interesting, but I'm not going to be doing anything else to the interior, so I won't be touching that again. I am now using a 0.3mm nozzle instead of a 0.5mm that I've done most of the other stuff with, just because that's what came fitted with this. And so it is sort of being a bit more precise, a more precise jet coming out of it, which seems to be okay, yeah, not a problem. Right, let's get this masking tape off then, and we'll think about how I'm going to do this. So I suppose the first colour will have to be the cream. So I will have to paint the whole body cream, do you think? Like, seriously, I'm not an expert. I'm not no Bob Ross. So yeah, do you reckon the whole body should be painted cream? And then I will mask off the top part and paint the bottom into the chocolate. That seems to make sense. What have we got there? We have Brooklyn Graham, thank you so much. This is different, Sam. Thanks for sharing it with us. Live, yeah. Love the balancing carriages, by the way. Oh, thank you. Yeah, they all went. They literally sold out in less than 3 hours. I can't believe that. So thank you so much to everyone who bought the set, and they were all sent out this morning, this very morning. So you should get them before too long, unless you live overseas, in which case it might take a little while. Okay, there we go. That looks really weird, doesn't it now? Yeah, super strange. All right, but that's okay. So we'll leave that to dry, and now I'm going to be doing the part that I usually edit out of the videos that I make of me decorating stuff, and that is cleaning out the airbrush ready for the next colour. But obviously I have no way to edit this out, so I will show you it. And if anyone's interested in how to do it, well, here's how. So the first thing I do is take some water. I should have a pipette here somewhere. Yep, here it is. And I'll fill up the airbrush with water. If anyone thinks I'm doing this wrong, by the way, let me know, because I could well be. And then squirt it all out into this little pot like this. Got my mask on for this bit. You just have to sit and wait. It doesn't take too long though. You pull the lever right back, and it all goes. There you go. Make sure that's all gone, and then we'll do it again. A couple more pipettes. Took me a heck of a long time to do this the first few times, but it's not too bad now. And I'm going to try and just clean it up a little bit with the paintbrush. Okay, empty it out again. Well, the new airbrush seems to work anyway, doesn't it? Yeah, seems to be doing the job, so that's a good sign. Right, has that gone? Yeah, pretty much. And then finally, I've got this stuff, which is really good. Airbrush cleaner. Put some of that in. Yep. Quite expensive, this stuff, but it does seem to do the job. Mix this stuff in. Just clean off any of the green from inside. And let that go through. There we go. And that's what I do. So any airbrushing experts, take a look at my method and let me know if it's any good, I guess. There we go. Okay. All right. So I'll leave that to dry. I guess I ought to use my cotton bud actually and just clean the end. So to clean the end, I'm going to pull the needle back so that I don't touch the needle. There we go, that's it. Almost squirted myself in the face with airbrush cleaner there, but I think we're good. Right, so I need to mask off the interior now. So do you know what? I'm going to try some of this Tamiya masking tape, or whatever it is. So let's have a look. So, it comes in a little dispenser, by the way. I didn't actually realise when I bought it that it was going to be in this dispenser, but, you know, I'll take it. So, I'm going to put a little bit, let's start on these ends. Put some on like this. Now, I guess I've gone and done it a bit too long, haven't I, actually? Let's start at this end. So the only major difference so far is that this is very thin to work with, and it doesn't seem to tear too easily. So it's a little bit more fiddly to apply, but seriously, I trust the people who have recommended this to me. Apparently this will not bleed as much as the regular cheap sort of masking tape. I can't remember how much this cost, but it was a lot. I got the dispenser, and then I think 2 refills for the dispenser, and it was about, I think it was £10, maybe a little bit less than that. Can't remember exactly. But yeah, it wasn't dirt cheap or anything, but if it's as good as people say it is, then it will, I think it will be worth it. So I didn't strictly need to use the good stuff for this, but I want to practice with it before it goes on to do the body work. So yes, we'll see. So a little bit more. I must say though, it seems to stay where I put it. The cheap masking tape seems to come off a lot easier, and I find myself having to keep sticking it down. This doesn't seem to be doing that, so maybe that's another good feature of this. Right. Oh, we got another super chat. Oh, thank you so much. We got some Very kind support today. That was Alex Dent. Thank you very much, Alex. Right, last piece. There we are. So now I can put some of the cheap stuff in the middle and just seal off the interior. I suppose, silly me, I need to mask off the interior of the windows as well. Probably should have done that before I put this stuff on. Never mind. Might be able to get away with it. Maybe I won't. And Kelly Ashford Trains. Hello there. Hello there, Kelly. How are you? Haven't seen you for quite a little while. Right, yeah, put some cheap stuff on. Man, can you, it's because I'm sat here talking. If I'd forgotten to mask the windows and I hadn't looked at the chat, then that could have seriously messed this up, couldn't it? Just spray chocolate and cream right through the windows. That is definitely something I would do, isn't it? Definitely. All right. Yeah, you see this cheap stuff, it ain't sticking so well. Maybe that's because it's wet still, the paint, very slightly. Yeah, I mean really that you would want to leave these processes to dry. Because I'm doing it live, I'm breaking that rule a little bit, but it doesn't matter. And yeah, I am pulling off some of the paint that I've just put on, but it's okay, that's all right. It's the outer body that I care about, it's just I want to do the interiors as well. Now, just cover up that last little gap. Yeah, you see that's coming off. I bet the Tamiya stuff wouldn't do that. Right, we just need a tiny little bit more on the inside, and then I will cover the hole in the top, and we'll try some of the, what did I say? We're going to do the cream first. Now, I don't know if I've got any cream, so we'll have to choose something similar to cream. I've just messed that up. Yeah, we'll have a look, we'll have a look. Maybe it won't be strictly Great Western colours, maybe not. We'll just have to see. Now this is not sticking well at all. I've messed myself up because I forgot about the windows to start with. But it's alright. Now, I have filmed a few more videos of stuff that I've made and painted, but that was done before I got this Tamiya masking tape, so if you see in the future that I appear not to be using it again, it's not because I've sort of gone off it or whatever, it's just because I didn't have it when I filmed that, so yeah, don't worry. I think I will definitely like and use the Tamiya stuff in the future, definitely. Right, let's see there, I think that will have to do. It's not the best masking job in the world. Usually when I'm editing a video, I can cut out the 20 minutes it takes me to mask something properly, but because I haven't got that luxury, I'm going to rush a little bit more. As you can see by the fact that that piece was too small. Let's try again. Right, I am looking forward to seeing what that Tamiya stuff can do, definitely. Like those people that have been commenting about it, like, I hope you didn't exaggerate, because I've seriously got high expectations for what it can do. Right, there we go. It's not a very good job. I think the interior might get a little bit of a blasting through some of those windows, but hopefully it will be okay. I'm still a member, still have been for 2 years. That's true, Kelly. Thank you so much for your support. Sam, how old are you? Says Gleese1. I am 25. LMS is good, but the LNER is better, says Wolf22. That is a controversial opinion, and I will not voice an opinion. Right, folks, so what colour shall we substitute for cream? Let's see. There's probably a good few candidates for chocolate. I don't know. Ooh, skin tone, that's cream. It's not going to be, I have to say this, otherwise people will see it and say, oh, that's not Great Western chocolate and cream. No, it ain't going to be accurate, is it? But that is cream, I suppose, isn't it? And then, what do you reckon for the chocolate? We've got Hull Red. You see, now this says Hull Red. That colour, to me, looks more of a chocolate than a red. So am I going to use this one day thinking that it's going to be a brown? And is it going to come out red? To me, I would have said that looks more like the Great Western chocolate than the mud brown does. I don't know. You'll have to put down in the chat what you think. Mud brown, hull red, or something else. We've got rust, but I don't think that would be right. Sand yellow, maybe, would that be a better cream? Oh, I think that might be a better cream. Right, so we've either got, put it in the chat, we've got skin tone or sand yellow for the cream, or mud brown and hull red. Those are the choices for the chocolate. Let me know what you think would look closest. And I'll do that. We'll see. It's all about experimenting, so it doesn't matter too much. Right. Let's see, and then I'll put some black on those lines, and that will be the test for the Tamiya stuff, definitely. Right, let's see. Test it out, says Prince House. That is true. I could test them, but then I've got to go through the rigmarole of cleaning the airbrush out again, which is annoying. That's nice and dry again. The choice is yours. No, Azuma, no. The choice is yours. Hull red, says Tag Art Double. Right, so sand yellow is definitely getting more choice, and I agree. Yeah, that compared is not gonna. We don't want skin. We don't want coaches looking like they're made of skin. So I think there's plenty of people saying sand yellow. Chirpy Chimp is saying it. Lewis Hughes. So that is the decision. This doesn't matter too much, I suppose, because this will be the next. But I am not seeing any recommendations for the mud brown. So I think that one is out for the count. Right. Good choice, folks. You see, that's the sort of thing that I would be here on my own, scratching my head about. And now, I haven't got to. And the best part of it is, if it turns out that that was the wrong thing to do, then it's not really my fault. And I can just say, you know, I just did what I was told. So that is awesome. Right, sand yellow it is. Goodness knows what this is going to look like. But you'll never find out unless you try. So let's see. Wish me luck, please. I'm nervous, which is ridiculous, but true. Oh yeah, it does look pretty good actually. Not bad. There we go. 10 drops. Let's have a quick look at it then before I put it on the coach. Yeah, it's not quite Great Western cream, is it? But it's probably close enough for us. Okay, let's do it. It doesn't look much like sand though, I've got to say. Maybe it does. Okay, yeah, it's looking alright. Right, so now I'm going to do something I probably shouldn't do, and I'm just going to go around and blow it with the compressed air and not apply any paint, just to try and dry it a little bit so that we can move on and do the next part. Okay, that's what I'll do. Okay, All right, well that looks all right, doesn't it? It looks, I'm glad we didn't do it in the skin tone, I'll put it that way. Yeah, that's quite nice, that's not bad. Right, what have we got? We've got Kelly Ashford. Sam, you're good at airbrush painting. Oh, thank you. I wouldn't go that far, Kelly, but I'm glad that you have. Thank you very much. Right, so I'm thinking we might leave this now and do something else, give that layer a time to dry. Maybe the ends don't want to be cream. We need to think about that. If the lines are going to be black, what colour should the ends be? There we go, that is my question. Right, let's do a simple one next then. So, quick fire question, what should the interior colour of this wagon be? Alright, throw that out there. Let me know in the chat, we'll do it that way. And while we do, I will put my mask back on and I will clean out the airbrush. I need some cheesy music to put on, some airbrush cleaning music. That would be good. Well, it wouldn't be good, but it would be better than listening to the air compressor, I suppose. Anyway, see you on the other side. Gold, someone says. Prince House says gold. Azuma says grey. Grey's cool, but I think the outside might look best grey. I don't know. You tell me. Tell me about the outside as well while we're at it. Chocolate brown says blueberry tiger fox. We could try that. We could try the hull red, couldn't we? And then we'll know roughly what it looks like. Hull red. I don't know. That would be unusual. I don't think I've ever seen a wagon interior painted hull red before. Brown, purple. Tagot 00 seems to want to do something crazy with this. I've seen him say a few funny things. Deep sky, says Sean. Blue. Can you do brown for a southern livery on the open wagon? Sure can. So we'll put that, we'll try the hull red, maybe. I think the mud brown is not dark enough for southern brown. So we'll have to try the hull red. We need to see what the hull red looks like, I think. That's the thing we need to do. Alright, just clean this son of a gun out. There we go. Doesn't take too long. Right. Have we got any firm answers for the interior? Silver, says Alex Dent. That'd be weird. Alright, well let's say we are going to do it southern brown, with a brown on the outside. What colour would the interior usually be? Would it be the same colour brown? Do I want to do that? Blood and mustard, okay. Light brown and dark grey. Alright, let's see what we've got then. I'll pick some out and we'll see what folks think. Right, so we're thinking interior for this wagon. Alright. Can't see a lot that really appeals too much. Sea grey. We could do it sea grey. Shall we try sea grey on the inside of it? And then we could do the brown on the outside. That seems reasonable. We could try the hull red instead of brown. Yeah, what do you reckon? Do you think that's agreeable? Well, I'll mask up. I'll mask the thing up and then I'll have one last look. I love this. The best part about this is that you are deciding this stuff for me, which I like. Right, so let's use the good stuff for the edges here. The good stuff. That's an idea actually, because I can't pronounce what it's actually called. If I just call it the good stuff, then I think that's problem solved, isn't it? Right. Get that on there nicely. Not too much overlap, or no overlap ideally. Alright, yeah, I mean, if nothing else, even if it bleeds as much as the cheap stuff does, which I don't think it will, the fact that it stays where I put it is a big plus already. That is a dramatic difference. Because the inside of that passenger coach, the cheap stuff has all come away from the inside of the windows. So what I might need to do is get some of this in like a 10mm width, or maybe even more, and then I can use this all the time. I could use the 6mm for the windows, but I'd need to put lots of different strips in there, and then it would be awkward, wouldn't it? But yeah, we'll see. Has this gone on right? It's looking good. I don't know if I need to do any more. Let's see. If I just stick this around. Because the outer colour, right, is going to be pretty dark if we're going for a brown. So if I try and be quite direct, no, that's a bad idea, no. I know I'm trying to rush a bit because it's live, but I think that would be suicidal, wouldn't it? Not to mask the bottom part, so let's do it. Oh, it's a fiddly old wagon, this, because it's so small. There we are. Put some cheap stuff on, that'll sort it. There we are. Yes. Come on, Sam. That's another thing you guys need to do in the chat, right? If you see me trying to cut corners and do things shoddily, stop me before it's too late. Because when I'm filming and nobody's there to stop me, I do shoddy things and I always regret them. And sometimes I edit them out, so you don't even know the worst of it. Right, Kelly Ashford again, thank you so much. Could they be used if you wanted a ghost train? You know, Kelly, if I could buy a really spooky looking grey, and I could totally make some ghost train gubbins. That would be awesome. You can call me the track one, says Gleeswan. Okay, all right. Is that because I'm saying the word wrong? Right. Come on then, let's try this. Now, I have used the sea grey before. I don't think I've used it on camera before, but like I say, I've done a few other projects that you haven't seen yet, and for those I have used a bit of it, and it's a nice grey. Oh no, I think I have probably used it on camera. I don't know, who knows. But it is a nice colour. It's very wagony, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's great, very good. Highly recommend it. Right, mask on. Let's do the interior then, okay. This should be quite easy, I'm thinking. What do you reckon? Not too much. Right, let's do it. Let's try and do the walls first. It's easier doing dark colours because you can see where the paint's already gone. Sounds like Darth Vader painting, doesn't it? Now there's a title for a future live stream. Darth Vader paints. Okay, and let's do the planking. Looks pretty good so far. Let's do some this way as well. Alright, how's that, folks? Let's have a little inspection. Again, if I was doing this normally, I would keep looking at it and doing a bit more. I think, yeah, I think that looks alright. Let's go in a bit closer for you. I think I've probably masked off the wrong bit, do you think? Because now this bit is unpainted, and, oh, I suppose I could just line the inner walls with the Tamiya stuff. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Alright. Well, it needs to stay there and dry for a bit, so I can leave the masking on there, and we'll return, shall we? Oh, it's like a reality TV show again. We can return to our Great Western coach. So let's clean out the airbrush again, because we need to change colour. I think we're going to risk the hull red, okay? Might well regret it, and I think I probably will. But yeah, we'll try it, because then at least I've taken one thing from this, and that is that I now know what the hull red looks like. All right, let's clean this out. I need to put my mask. Let's have a quick look at the chat, actually. I don't want to ignore the good people. Let's see. Not bad. Sam'sTrains, is this every day or every week? It's just a one-off right now. Yeah, that's Train Boy Plays Roblox. But, you know, if people enjoy this, let me know. I could do some more of it. Use a lead pencil to draw between the planks. Ooh, Michael White. That's a nice idea. Might have to try that. Might have to. That's a cool idea. Not bad, said Blueberry Tiger Fox. I'm glad. Thank you. Not bad is perfectly good for me. I will settle for that any old day. Okay, let's do this again. While I do it, let me know what colour the main colour of each end of this coach should be. That's what I need to know next. Let's see what people have come up with. Is Kelly telling nursery rhymes? I don't know, I missed that. Do the ends pink, says track 1. Mud brown? Oh, I don't know about that. I think the ends would just be black. Maybe you're right, Taggart. Maybe you're right. But then I wouldn't be able to do my special... No, I think you're right, though. Yeah, I think you're right. I'm trying to think about what the Hatton's Genesis ones were like. I think they were black, weren't they? Okay, we'll do that. So the question is whether to do the black of the ends next, or whether to do the chocolate of the chocolate and cream next. I don't think it's going to matter, really, is it? Not going to matter too much. I think I will do the chocolate and cream bit first, because then I can mask off these sides, and do the black next. Yeah, so we'll put the whole red on, I reckon, next. Now, where should the chocolate start? I think for that we're going to have to look at some photos of the real thing. So let's pull that up and let's see. So we need Great Western chocolate and cream, and we'll see what that brings up. So any old coach, doesn't really matter. I'm not going to go all intricate with the windows and stuff, so let's have a look at something like that. And that seems to be sort of just below the window line. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll see how it looks. Wow. Okay, let me bring the chat back up. Hang on. So I think the first thing is going to be to mask off the ends that I don't want to paint right now. So let's get the good stuff. Yeah, it's going to have to be the good stuff for this. And it's a bit awkward because these coaches don't have uniform ends. So if we put a vertical piece here, oh no, I don't think that will work. No, it won't work. I'll have to do it that way. So this is going to be a good first test for the Tamiya tape. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, because we're going to be masking the top half. So yeah, that's fine. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out how I literally did not know that I was doing chocolate and cream until someone suggested it. So yeah, got to think about this as we go. So mask Try and get that accurate. Yeah, that's fairly accurate. Okay, other end, and then we'll put some of the cheap stuff on it afterwards. I guess everyone knows what I mean now when I say cheap or good stuff. Now, does that need to be... I think we'll put another piece over that because I didn't quite go far enough. Again, that was a bit of shoddiness coming through there. Sorry about that. Let's try again. That's the ticket. Okay. Right. I reckon this this good stuff, this Tamiya tape, I reckon this will go a long way. Because I'm not using, because it's so thin, I think you naturally just pull off smaller pieces of it, so you don't waste too much. Okay, and then a big old strip of the cheap stuff, which is fine to waste because it's cheap. I know you can tear it, I just like cutting it because you get a cleaner line. And will that stretch? Oh yeah, look at that. So that's completely covered now. Oh, but it was just a tiny bit too short on the other side. Gosh darn. Never mind. Okay. So I'm going to go just below the windows, right, for the dark, well, hull red it's going to be, which I still don't know if it's going to be right. But you know what? If it is more of a red than a brown, what a weird and wonderful thing that will be. I'll be very fascinated to see how that looks. Right, so just, I'm going to go right to the bottom of the windows, I think, like that. You think that's all right? Well, it's straight anyway. We'll settle for straight, I think. Let's put this camera on so you can see it a bit better. Man, I think this is going to be the trickiest part of the evening, I should imagine. There we are. Right, other side, we'll do the other side and then I can paint it all in one go. And then there'll be a big reveal, I should imagine, when it's time to pull all the paint off. The paint off? No. You know what I mean, the tape. Right. Now, someone sent an ingenious suggestion in via comment the other day. And that was that once I've masked up, before I put the new colour on, I should put a layer of the old colour on. And apparently that will make a bit of a seal between the tape and the old colour. And then when I put the new colour on, it will supposedly have an even sharper line. So do you know what? It's a bit wasteful of time, but I think I'm going to do it. What do you reckon? So if I just take the sand yellow and put just a couple of drops in, we'll do that, and then just to see what it looks like. And then if it looks good, next time I do a bit of tricky masking, we can try that again. How's everyone doing? We all right? Mud brown. This is railway. Oh, we've got somebody saying mud brown. What do we reckon? Is mud brown the choice, or are we going with hull red? You've got just a few more minutes to decide. Let's see. Just a few drops of this. Okay. Let's make sure it's working, and then let's do it. Oops, went and dropped it, oopsie. Well, I could do it on the edges as well. Might as well use it. Right, let's clear that out then, and then let's put the choice of brown, which is yet to be finalised, onto the bottom half. Let's do this quick. Right, what's the decision, folks? Mud brown, says Railway Les Price. A Great Western 440, says NWR Jasper. Not quite. Diaglo Orange, says What's that? Dave STR Wrexham? Don't fancy that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the hull red, because I really am curious to see what it looks like. And if it goes wrong, the people that were voting for mud brown you can totally say I told you so if it goes wrong. And then we'll do black on the ends, yes. Yeah, definitely black on the ends, I think. Track 1 said do the ends pink, don't fancy that. Yeah, most people are saying hull red. Private Joker says brown. Yes, it will definitely be brown, yes. Well, maybe it won't. I mean, hull red is not brown, so we'll see. But it looks brown. For all intents and purposes, it's probably brown. Right. Last one. And we'll get the full red out. I always pull the needle back when I put the cotton bud near the end of it there, because I don't want to touch the needle with the cotton bud, obviously. Okay, well, wish us luck, folks. Here we go. Oh, it looks good. It looks real good. That is brown. Come on now. What on earth are they talking about? That is brown. I think hull red is a brown though, isn't it, basically? I'm pretty sure. Right, let's see what it looks like on the coach. Fingers crossed, please. There it is. Oh, I don't know, folks. That looks pretty red now. There's only one way to find out. We can paint over it if it's bad. Yeah, I don't know. It's not a chocolate brown, is it, really? I don't know. I think this might be okay. Maybe. It looks almost mahogany, actually. You know what? I'm gonna enjoy whatever this looks like. All right, how's that looking? Right, I think you'll have to be the judge on that. So, preferably without taking off the masking. Do you think we should stick with it, or should I paint over it? I'm thinking stick with it, but if there's an overwhelming vote, then I will take it. I will take your advice. And some graffiti, says Michael White. Yeah, I don't think I'm that precise yet to be able to do anything like that. Azuma says looks nice. Tudor's Train says yes. Yeah, so I've got some varnish. I've got some matte varnish. Yeah, I've got some gloss varnish. That's the one. I went through all of them and got the right one at the end. It's perfect, says Sundry and Lettuce. All right, okay, so generally people are saying yes. So I'm going to leave that a second because it's looking a little bit shiny. So we'll let that go off and we'll reintroduce our friend, the Wagon. So, do we think that shade of umber red for Mr. Wagon, or should I use something else? You let me know for the bodywork, that is, the bodywork. Let's see what people say, because I have still got it in the airbrush, so maybe that would save time if I did it that way, but if you think it will look dreadful, we could swap. While you decide, I will pull off the masking tape and we'll have our first look at what the Tamiya stuff has been able to do. Now, if it's not on straight, that is obviously my fault and not the tape's. And look at this, I'm peeling the cheap masking tape off the old tape and it's all still in place. That is something. That is pretty darn impressive. Let's see. Right, let's pull off the good stuff. It's coming off in two places. Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, they weren't kidding. Look at that. That is very sharp indeed. Right, let me show you one of the spots where I was most accurate with the tape. I'll hold this camera. Focus. Yeah, look at that. That looks really odd actually, doesn't it, in the yellow? Look at that for a line. Okay, that's the answer to that question then. The tape is good stuff. In fact, great stuff, you could say. Impressed. Right, mud brown, people are saying. I've seen one mud brown. I like the grey, says Joshua. Black would look good. Maybe it would. Grey. Let's see. I'm not sure at the moment. So we've got a suggestion for grey. Should we have a different grey? Have I got a different grey? I don't think I've got a different grey. So if it was grey, I'd have to do the same grey as the interior, which would defeat the purpose. So maybe not grey then. Let's see. Wasp stripes. Crisp. Don't know. Do we think black? I feel like black might destroy the detail. You didn't really get that many black wagons, but I don't know. Maybe we should. I've no idea how I'm going to mask the interior because it's such a shallow one. Yeah, that's the idea. Let's go with a different green or something. Shall we do the gun? Let's do that. Shall we do that dark green? Yeah, we're going to do the dark green, I think. Yeah, you've persuaded me. That's the only option, really, isn't it? So let's clean out the airbrush, and then we'll figure out how on earth I'm going to mask that interior off. Let's move this out of the way. I'm quite happy with that umber brown. Yeah, it's not bad, that. Umber red, rather. It's definitely a brown, though. How's everybody doing? Going okay so far? Try maroon red. Well, we'll see. What have I got? I haven't got much good red. The only reds I've got are very sort of Christmassy reds. I do need to get a maroon, I think. That's something I ought to perhaps order at some point. But I don't have it right now, unfortunately. Dark green with black. With black? I guess I could go over some parts of it in black, couldn't I? We'll see if we've got time. Maybe I will have time. Oops. Momentary loss of concentration. Yeah. Shall we do some of the detail parts in black then? Then at least I get to test the tape for that sort of thing. Yeah, we'll do that. If there's time, I'll do that. Right. Let's get some of that good tape on the inside of it then. Again, ideally, you'd want to leave this a lot longer to dry, I suppose, but I haven't done. Now, yeah, it can be torn. All right, that's pretty good. So I'm going to put some shorter lengths on the inside like this. And then an even smaller piece that goes around the corners. And then, what do you reckon, maybe just flood the inside part with the cheap stuff? We'll see. This is a bit fiddly, and I'm going a bit too fast probably for it, but we'll see. I need something sharp. Maybe that needle. Let me grab that needle, and then I can really push it into the corners. That sounds smart. Okay. Let's see if we can get it right into the corners. Yeah, that's it. Good old needle. That's a good help. All right. It's great when you've got more than one thing to paint, because you can put something on and then move on to the other one for a bit, and it just lets the paint have a little bit of chance to dry, which is always great. Okay, yeah, this is not the greatest really, but it'll be fine. I think you see, I could not, there would be no way to do this with that cheap tape that I was using before. So the fact that I've got this really thin stuff that sticks properly and seems to do a really good job, yeah, it's a lifesaver, I think. But we'll see. I won't tempt fate until I pull it off. But I think this is really going to come up trumps here. See if we can do that whole back side. Oh no. Pulled off too much and it's folded over, never mind. Okay, put that in across there. Yeah, this needle is helpful for this. Oh, it's going askew a little bit. Okay, oh dear. Yeah, we need another part inside there. And then we'll try it with the dark green. Look at that, I've never used that dark green before, and now we're using it twice in one day. It looked quite nice on the interior though, didn't it? So be interested to see what it looks like here. Okay, and then we'll put some cheap stuff on the inside. I'm gonna have to be, again, I think I'll put multiple small pieces on the inside and just cover it like that, because I don't want any excess really. So let's pop that there. And it sticks quite nicely to those planks. Let's put that one there. Overlap slightly. Hoping this isn't going to pull off the nice grey paint on the inside. But if it does, that's because I was going too quick. If you let it dry, it normally doesn't do that. Oops, don't push that down. I've accidentally pushed the edge pieces down, which I didn't want to do. That defeats the purpose. Okay, we're there. We're almost there. We can paint it now. Thank you for your patience. Right, let's do it then. Let's make a green wagon. This ought to be cool. Let's see. I don't think Sam can say chirpy. 500 models. Hey, chirpy, what does that mean? Right, mask on then. Let's put some green on this wagon. This shouldn't take long. There's not really very much wagon to paint, is there? Okay. Are we good and empty? Yep. Let's see what this green is like on an outer body then. Very interesting. Just about 10 drops there. Alright, let's see. Looks alright. Oh, don't blow away. Got some water coming out. That's annoying. Don't know why it does that. How's that? It's looking alright, I think. Just trying to get it in between the gaps. Okay, almost there. Okay, let's put that, just check. Yeah, let's put that to one side then. Pop that up there. And let's bring back, in fact, I better clean out the airbrush first, hadn't I? Yeah. And then we've got the very, very exciting part, and that is pulling off the tape off the now Great Western chocolate and cream coach and seeing whether the actual chocolate and cream divide is working properly. Maybe I messed it up. We will find out in just a few minutes. How's everybody doing? I'm new, says the LMS Ginty. Well, welcome in that case, welcome. Sam just used the airbrush cleaner on his hands. Yeah, probably need to, don't I? I'm not too messy actually. I've been worse, put it that way. Much worse. I don't suppose it would be very good stuff to get on your hands. There's not that many warnings and stuff on it, but yeah, it's probably quite nasty stuff. Okay, airbrush cleaner again. This is still the first bottle. You've seen how often I use it. I've still not had to buy another bottle, and I've only used about a third of it, so yeah, it lasts a long time by the looks of things. Andy French, thank you so much. Fund to buy disposable gloves. Now that's an idea. Thank you very much. I'll probably need to order some of those. I didn't think of that. That's another good reason for doing a stream like this. Right. Are you ready then for, well, I'll make it sound a bit dramatic if I say the big reveal, but I suppose it is quite a big reveal. Let's see whether I messed it up or whether I got it good. Let's see. So first comes the cheap stuff. Let's switch to this cam. Oh my gosh, I am nervous. And it's so much worse that there are people watching because there's no way to quietly hide the fact that it's gone wrong, if it has gone wrong. Ooh, all right, that's the one side. Let me get the rest of it off and then I'll show you it properly. Ooh, the other side looks pretty good. Oh man. Yeah, this tape is the real McCoy. There is no doubt about it. Need to pull it off these ends as well. Oops, almost pulled some off the roof. In fact, I have pulled some off the roof. We'll redo that next time. Oh yes. That's all coming off the top as well. Oh no. Doesn't matter. Yeah, I've pulled it out from the inside as well. Never mind. Come on, I don't want to pull it off the roof. It's too sticky. In fact, it's sticky to a fault. Right. So I have messed up the interior quite a bit. But look at that. That's not bad. Now, I needed to go a bit further down, so that's something to fix in the future. But that looks all right, doesn't it? That does look okay. So let's, have I still got, oh, I've still got the tape on the windows, so that's great. So I can now mask up these ends and we can paint the ends of the coach black. Is that what we reckon? Yeah, that was suggested, and it does, that sounds good to me. So yeah, we'll do that. And then I guess we'll take a look at the wagon, see how that came out, and possibly do some of those black details, and then that will be the end. It will be a fairly good job well done, hopefully. Right, so I need to make sure that the bottom of the body doesn't get any masking tape on it, because I think that's what went wrong. Because, yeah, then it gets blocked. All right, so we're going to do the ends black, and then it will be a very janky imitation of the Great Western chocolate and cream livery on a balancing coach. I'm not going to be painting any of the balancing roofs today, but I guess I could go and grab a roof, see if it will still fit. The reason I say still fit is because it's this body has had a layer of filler primer on, and that tends to make things a little bit fatter. So it might mean that before I can try it, I might have to sand down the roof locating ridges before they'll accept a roof. So I might not be able to try a roof on this today. And in fact, maybe it would be a bad idea to try and put a roof on while the paint's still wet, but you know me, I don't mind a bit of a risk. Okay, there goes that. And then one more piece, and then we'll flood the rest with the cheap stuff. Yeah, that's all right, isn't it? That's not bad at all. I don't think the colours are quite right, but you know, if I got the right colours, it would surely work. Right, cheap stuff. Let's put loads of this on. Let's just get one big piece and wrap it all the way around the ends. And then hopefully it will go over the roof as well. There we are. How's that for a dodgy move? There we are. Should do the trick though. Then we need a bit more on the top just to make sure it doesn't further ruin the interior, and then we'll put the black on. Okay, tiny bit more on the top. And then I'll grab the black and we'll pop that in. All right, so we want black. Where is it? There it is. All right, you ready, folks? This is going to be the last step for this. Look fine, says the LMS Ginter. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not too bad. Again, I'm doing all of this far too quickly, and pulling off the masking tape is going to pull off some of the paint because I haven't been leaving it long enough to dry, but you know what? Never mind. Okay, a little bit of black then. Let's try and get some of the water out. Okay. Right, let's do it. Let's put the last bit of paint on. And it's black. About 10 drops. It does go a long way, this paint. It's real good. Seemed quite expensive at first, but it feels like all the bottles, I've painted lots of stuff, feels like all the bottles are still completely full, so it's pretty good. Okay. Alright, that looks pretty good. Let's go and do the other end. Oh, that was Fabri Trueno. Thank you so much. How's everything going? Something like the possibility of making a video collaboration. I like invites. Oh, that's a cool idea, yeah. I did think about, actually, having a guest come and try an episode of Salvage or Scrap. That's a really cool idea. Thank you so much. Okay. I'm pretty happy with that. Alright, so let's clean off the airbrush and then we'll have the big reveal on the wagon, shall we? Alright. Let's just get this black paint out. And then we've got the excitement of seeing how this stuff actually turns out. Nice. Alright. Yes, says Alex Dent. It looks stupendous. Oh, that seems very generous, but I will take it. Thank you very much. Yeah, Matthew Henson, I would like to start a Minecraft channel. That would be fun. How much is a good airbrushing kit? Sam Watson. Well, it depends what you consider good. If you consider my airbrushing kit good, then we're talking about £100. So it's not too bad. In fact, I think mine is less now since I bought it. And that includes the airbrush, loads of different needles, 3 or 4, and also the air compressor. So it's about the price of a loco, really. And then, obviously, to get some paints and stuff, it's going to be a bit more. But yeah, it's not that expensive, really. And like I say, the paints go a long way, so once you've bought a bottle, it's going to last a very, very long time. Alright, let's clean this out. There we go, almost gone. Okay, and let's take a look and see how that wagon turned out then, shall we? And I might do a little bit of black on the ends, although again it's risky because I haven't had a chance to let the thing dry properly. And yes, I've got sooty fingers, let's say. Right, let's try and carefully peel this off. Hopefully it won't bring too much of the grey with it, maybe it will. Okay. Well, that is a very interesting looking wagon, isn't it? I perhaps could have gone over it a few more times with the green, and maybe I will in the future. And there's certainly some stuff to touch up above there, so when I've got some time, I will definitely be doing that, I expect. But let's just try some black strips on the end then. In fact, let's just do it on one end. Or I could do it on both. I don't know. What do you reckon? Should we go both ends? And that's annoying because I've just cleaned the airbrush out. But if I put some masking tape on both sides, like so, we can put some black streaks where the framework is. I'll put the close-up camera on so I can show you what it is I'm doing in just a second. Okay. Yeah, this is when this good tape is definitely going to come into its own, although I'm having a bit of trouble getting it to stick now. I think that's because the green paint is on quite thick and I haven't let it dry for long enough. So yeah, again, not a good idea, but usually you're not doing this stuff live in front of people, and so you can take a bit more time. So I'm not worried about that. Yeah, it's always a good idea to take your time with this sort of thing, obviously, but I've got a good excuse for not doing that this time, I guess. Okay, one more piece. All right, and then I guess I'll put a piece across the top. Maybe this should have been the good quality stuff as well, but never mind. And then because I only want a small amount, I'll put some of the good quality stuff across the ends as well. Plenty of it this time. There we go. Cool. And then we'll just, shall I do the other end as well? I think I might as well. And that gives the old Great Western coach a bit of a second or two to dry. Okay. So you can see where the paint's going to go now, hopefully just on those sort of bits that stick out. They're probably part of the body support in real life. Okay, let's mask up the other end then, and then I can just blast the black paint on. Alright. Yeah, I noticed that I am... Oops, we've lost we've lost the one of the cameras. The battery has died. Oh dear. Well, that's okay. We've got this one still. We're almost done now anyway. Everybody still okay? A good excuse to ignore me, more like it. Oh, both ends you can do it. Okay, it's all right, Kelly. I haven't ignored you now. I've seen you. Yeah, I couldn't live with myself if I just did one end. That would just be nonsense, wouldn't it? All right. Well, this has been fun. Using this tape, trying a few new paints, doing the chocolate and cream. That has been pretty fun. I've never done that before. I've never put like a dividing line across a body before. I've always done them in block colours. So this is really something cool. I think once we reveal the black, that will really look cool. I'm going to do the top with the Tamiya stuff as well this time. Maybe we can compare, see what the difference is. Okay. And then 2 more strips and then we get to paint. And then I'll cover the rest of the body with the cheap stuff. So there's still a good, it's still good to have the cheap stuff on hand by the sounds of it, because I still seem to have a good use for it. Okay. Yeah, the cheap stuff seems to be really good for just filling in big areas without any precision. And like I say, if I bought some of the larger Tamiya stuff, it would be a bit wasteful to use it for filling in big areas. I think the way I've done it makes the most sense, because you're using it for the edges that you care about, and then everything else you can just put the cheap stuff on. And it works out much cheaper, I suppose, that way. Okay, another big strip of cheap stuff in the middle, and then I won't get any black paint going astray, hopefully. All right. And it definitely needs another coat after this. So yeah, if you ever see this in a video and it looks way better than it does now, that's because I've probably put another coat on. Right. So this is going to be the last process of the day. So yeah, type F to pay your respects. Let's put some black into the airbrush and let's see what we can do here. Just make sure this is stuck down properly before I do. Yep, okay. Just a few drops this time. Oh, oh, that was naughty. Look at that. I have to mop that up in a second. Okay. Right. Let's do it. That's it. All right. That's it. Well, that was a big build-up for a bit of a letdown, wasn't it? Right, I'm just going to get some tissue. Now, this looks suspicious, right? But it is handy to have a bog roll, because people are going to say now that I've got an obsession with bogs and stuff, because they do crop up quite a lot. But no, it's not there for wiping anything except paint. I use toilets normally. I don't do that kind of stuff up here. If I need to go, I go downstairs. Right, okay. I don't know why I felt I had to clarify that, but just I sometimes preempt what commenters are going to say. Right, let's have a look then, shall we? Now again, the only problem with this, I think the method is fine. I would definitely do this again, but really I need to leave the different parts to dry for longer, and probably they need more coats than I've been giving them as well. But you know that. I just want to make it clear that you can get better results than this if you don't rush. All right. But you know, the normal videos is the time for not rushing. Okay. Now we've got the fiddly part of trying to get the good tape off. How am I going to do it? Okay, here we go. Nice and easy. And the rest of the interior masking tape is coming off now. Oh gosh, it's all coming off. But that's all right, it can all come off now. So here is an idea of what you can do if you've ordered one of the balancing coach sets. Here's the kind of thing you could do if you wanted to. Let's try and get the rest of this off, and I will try and grab a roof. Where's that needle gone? Oh, that's worrying. If I know it's here. I'm going to say, the most frightening thing is when I lose a needle up here, because I think, is it going to go into my foot? Is someone going to visit me and get hurt? Yeah, I've got to be careful with them. Right, so the interior is messed up a little bit, so that's all the more reason to get a roof. But that actually looks okay. That is so strange to see a Great Western coach. It's worked, hasn't it? The colours might not be quite right, but they give the right impression. Right, let me see if I can find a chassis as well. I've got a few spares lying around. It just depends on whether I can find them. Yep, I can see one. Oh, and it's got an axle on it as well. Ooh, nice. Right, the roof may not fit, or it might be a very snug fit, because it's got the filler primer on it. But that will hide the yellow, I hope. Ooh, sort of. Yeah, that's gone on. Okay. And then the chassis. Maybe the chassis won't fit on anymore. Is this an... Ah, this is an earlier chassis. It's the early chassis. Let me see if I've got a later one. The first ones I designed had a much bigger fixing block, and the bodies don't fit onto them. That's a shame. I might not have a spare with the small block installed. No, I think they're all big. I could try the others. Yeah, the three I've got, I think these obviously are not the spares I made then. These must be the three from the prototype, but it might just fit on one of them. No, not that one. Anyway, you'll get the idea. If not, no, they're all too big then. Right, let me give you the close-up. That's not so bad, is it? It's not too bad. Well, it looks a bit Great Western-y, doesn't it? Let's go in a bit. There we go. So the roof needs to be done, of course, and then I'd probably have to do the yellow bits across the top, because you can still see a bit of yellow there. But overall, yeah, that kind of looks like a Great Western coach. That is actually really nice. I would love to do a whole set of 3 like that at some point. That would be awesome. Right, let's see what the wagon looks like then. You're welcome. Interior too dark. Yeah, it is pretty dark, but like I say, it was just, I took a suggestion, and I think it's not too bad. With the windows in and maybe some lights inside, that might be pretty cool to try. Looks good, says Prince House. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's not bad. For a first try, it's the first time I've ever painted one of those actually. Yeah, that ain't too bad. And the thing is, you will always do it better the next time. So no matter how it turns out the first time, it will always be better the next time. It might not be much better, and if you're really self-critical, you might not even notice that it's any better. But honestly, they are. All right, let's try and get all this off. This was an awful lot of masking, wasn't it, this last bit? For very little. But it's often the little bits of paint that have the best effect. Yeah, this looks pretty good. I'll try not to... Ooh, that does look good. I'll show you properly once it's all off. And I think maybe I do have a chassis that this can go on. I know, I make them myself and I don't know if I've got enough. I don't know. I should always have one, shouldn't I? I've got one that it might partially sit onto. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I do. Okay, oh, can you see that? Now that is cool. That is my favourite thing today. Those little black lines on the end. Let me get the close-up camera. Yeah, that's okay, that is. Let's see. Try and get this in properly. Yeah, now that looks okay. Again, I've masked up too soon and pulled some of the green paint off, and it's showing the yellow primer again. But you can see how that worked. And then you've got the grey on the inside. That's not bad. It's just, it looks naff because I've pulled the paint off with the masking tape. It's so easy to avoid that, but I haven't avoided it this time. Anyway, yeah, I've got a chassis that it will fit onto. It's only got one of its locating nubs on it, but it should sit on it at least. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. There you go. That's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad. If I went over at that with a second coat, that would be fine, I feel sure. Okay. Well, we'll leave you with that then. There's the final view. Not too bad, not too bad. Very rushed, of course. Could very easily be better. That's the beauty about this. I mean, in order to make these better, I haven't got to learn loads of new skills and figure out new ways to do things. I've literally just got to go slower and wait more time between each step. So that doesn't seem like it's going to be too complicated. Nice little coach, says track 1. Simply marvellous, says Chirpy Chimp. Ah, thank you very much, Chirpy Chimp. William Pulfer Melville, hello to you as well. Hope you're doing all right. We all make mistakes, Sam, don't be ashamed. Yeah, it was a mistake. I should have left myself longer to do this. Maybe even painted one of the other bodies that I've got and sort of had 3 in the mix at once. That might have been smarter. But you know what? This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for... Oh, there we go. We've still got the freeze frame down on the other shot. Yeah, thank you so much for coming to watch. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, do comment down below and let me know, and I'll think about doing this again. And yeah, happy painting. If you decide to get an airbrush and give it a try, it's a lot of fun. Just make sure you don't make too much mess. Make sure you get some gloves. I think that's what we need to take away from today. And also don't forget to wear your mask or your respirator. You want one with a proper filter in it. Or, even better, an extraction system to take out the fumes. And particularly with the varnishes. Yeah, pretty nasty with the varnish. Anyway, thank you for watching. You look after yourselves. Have a fantastic week. I'll see you Wednesday for some more videos. And possibly there will be another live stream this week. Possibly not. We will make no promises. Okay, see you soon, folks. You take care. Hey folks, thank you all very, very much for tuning in for another episode of Sam's Trains Live. I really hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back with another episode very, very soon, but in the meantime, please enjoy the videos that I'll be posting on my channel till then, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks again for your support, folks, and take care of yourselves.